Okay, all right, this is gonna be interesting. And crunch, 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 crunch. So yeah, as you can tell, it's very white outside right now. And, well, needless to say, it's pretty interesting getting around. I've got to do this little driveway thing today with a little bit different approach. Let's try it this way. Shoot, this is crazy. Wow, this is nuts. All right, that worked. So here we go. As you guys can tell, it's very white outside. And last night, if you guys, well, most of you have probably already seen the video that I posted last night of me doing some nasty skids everywhere. If you haven't, go ahead and watch it because it was awesome. It was just so much fun. Right now, I'm actually driving, so I'm not driving to the university. University's closed, but the past like 5 vlogs or something like that, I have driven to the university. So yeah, I'm not doing that today. I'm actually driving to my buddy's house. Buddies, plural buddies. Today we've got a big game. As most of you guys know, I go to the University of Arkansas. So there's just a big basketball game today. So I'm driving over there in this nice snowy weather, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's not too bad. Okay, to clear up a little bit of confusion. Wow. Okay. Hello. To clear up a little bit of confusion, I know let's see, hold on, what was it? I think it was the snow update where I just let you guys know that I didn't want to go outside and drive around because I was on summer tires. I'm still on summer tires, that hasn't changed, but the difference is whenever it snowed last time, it was the first snow of the year, and the roads were still like 40-50 degrees, so everything froze over and it was terrible. But now, since it's been like 20-something degrees the past 3 weeks consistently, it didn't really stick, or it stuck to the road. It did the opposite of what I was about to say. It stuck to the road, but it didn't melt on the road and then refreeze. So it's pretty nice. It's still not fun to drive with snow tires. It's still not fun to drive with summer tires, but it's slightly functional. And as most of you guys, if you did see that video, it's not very fun to drive around like this with summer tires. Even whenever you're just sitting there hooning, it kind of sucks still because, well, your car still doesn't get traction. As you guys probably noticed, I was just sliding everywhere, but I maintained very good control of the car. I mean, I know my car. I've owned this car for 2.5 years. Have I owned it? Wow, it's been a long time. Jeez. Okay, well, so the reasons why I went outside, I just feel obligated to explain this, plus I want to. So, reasons why I went last night, and usually I don't do this because I don't like driving in conditions that put me or anybody else at risk, just for any reason. A big part of why I went out last night was because it wasn't icy and it was like a solid 4 or 5 inches of powder, straight up powder. So it was nice because it wasn't going to be ice, so I had at least some hope of traction, and it was powdery and it was awesome, and I could just make it fly everywhere. So I had a ton of fun making that video yesterday. The only thing that kind of sucks is my buddy Chris with the RSX was the one that was filming it, and wow, it's super loud right now because I just hear ice hitting my windshield and just slush under my car. Sorry. So Chris was the one holding the camera, and I don't really blame him for being out of focus 90% of the time, because if I was in his spot, my eyes would probably be emitting icicles like constantly, and I wouldn't be able to see. So, but he didn't really, I don't really think he's ever used a T3i before, which is what I use for my more, anything that's not in the car, I use a T3i. I use a GoPro in the car, for those of you who are curious, because I know that's usually asked, but I can't sit there and talk about that every single video. But yeah, I use the GoPro. And, while I'm talking about it, I'll let you know I'm using an Edutige. I don't really know how to. I'll just put it in the description for you guys. It's an Edutige ETM series mic. I think it's the 008 model. I can't remember, but it's an Edutige mic. I had to get the adapter for the GoPro because I have the Hero 3 Black Edition, and that's what I use. But I use the T3i outside of the car, and it was a big mess. Plus it was darker, so my camera was probably like, what the heck is going on? I don't really know what's going on. So It's funny, now I'm driving by all these like car lots and all these places that have had cars outside all night long, and everything, like you can see, it's just, everything is just covered in snow. It's awesome. I'm from Texas, so this happens never. Well, not really. It's happened probably once. Well, I can honestly say with about 99% confidence, I don't think it's ever snowed like this in my lifetime in Texas. In my time in Texas, I lived in Texas for like 16 years. I don't know. Moved there when I was like 4. So, yeah, bought a house. You know, still paying it off. I was 4 years old. Bought my own house. I think the best snow we've ever had was like 3 or 4 inches, but most of it was ice. It usually in Texas, because it's so hot, it usually ices a lot, or it snows very little. It sleets, and it will literally, like, it can accumulate 3 inches of solid sleet on the ground, but whenever it comes to snow, it'll barely cover the grass. So I've never really experienced anything like this in my life, and it's pretty awesome. Well, I have, because I've been to Colorado. I've been to several places where it does snow, but I'm saying in my hometown, with my own car, with my own life, I can go out and see this much snow, and I love it. I love snow. Honestly, the fact that snow's outside is probably more cool than going out and playing in the snow or going out and driving around in the snow. I just like having snow because I think it looks cool. And I know a lot of northerners, like that, that's what's kind of interesting, is like northerners, you kind of just see it as another part of the weather cycle. This is literally like a completely different chapter of life whenever it starts to snow. It's literally that much different because it doesn't happen for me. And it's funny because people up north, like, you get it like so many times a year, you probably hate it. You hate the thought of it. I know, like, my dad was raised in Kansas, and he got snow all the time whenever he was little, and he hates it. Like, he hates anything to do with snow and ice. Like, he just doesn't like it at all. Well, whenever I was a kid, I was like, Dad, why aren't you excited about this? He's just like, oh, I don't like snow. So, yeah, I'm driving on the highways right now. It was actually a lot worse. So it was like, God, it's so loud in my car right now. It is nuts. You guys probably can't hear nearly as loud as it actually is because the mic is pointing up in my mouth. But it was like 12 something at night. It was like 12:30 whenever that was being filmed. So it was pretty late. We were having some fun. It was just a ton of fun. And I was actually there, so I'm going to go off on a tangent talking about that again. So I get there, and there were like 4 or 5 other guys. There's this big Dodge Ram. There's a big Cummins diesel. And then there was like a Toyota Land Cruiser. There was like a Toyota Yaris. And then there was something else. I don't even remember. But everybody was doing donuts. It was the coolest thing ever. It was awesome because it was this giant parking lot. It was just full of snow. There was nothing to hit aside from the big light poles. But if you hit a light pole, then you just don't drive anymore. But it was funny because whenever I got there, I kid you not, it's going to sound like I'm exaggerating about this, but literally it's like everything stopped. Everything that they were doing stopped, and they literally got out, or they didn't get out, but they drove over to me. They were like, dude, I'm just going to watch you the rest of the time because this is awesome. Your car's great. I basically put on a show for a bunch of guys. You can actually see it in some parts of the video where I'm like sliding around. You can see like the Dodge in one area, and then you can see like the Yaris or something like that somewhere in there. But it was kind of funny because the guys in the Yaris come up and they're just super pumped. They're like, man, this makes my car look so stupid. Your car's awesome. And then they were like, can we have a ride? Or he's like, can we all have a ride in your car? And I was like, okay, but I only want one person in my car because I already had 2 other people. Chris was filming, so I had one person, and my roommate was in the passenger seat. So I was like, okay, one at a time. So I gave them, I drifted around with them in the back seat, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody smile so much in my life whenever it came to them just in my back seat. So that was pretty awesome. That was funny. But it made my night, I think, as much as it made theirs. But that is probably like, I've never even seen a happier face on a child on Christmas Day. Like, it was nuts how incredibly just excited they were to be in my car. And I don't think they knew what it was, so it kind of just, it was a shock. You have this really loud red van coming in to do donuts, and you're just like, whoa, hold on, this thing's pretty cool. So that was pretty fun. Lots of interesting things last night. It was pretty nuts. I thought it was super fun. I'm so excited I actually got to do this. I've owned this car for 2.5 years, and I have never driven it in like a solid big thing of snow or ice, or actually I've driven it in ice and it sucks. Nothing's good in ice though. See, that's the thing, is like, people think like, you know, oh, I drive a Subaru or I have a 4-wheel drive, I'm invincible in ice. Dude, it's physics. Like, ice is essentially frictionless, and if you have anything that's essentially frictionless, nothing, unless you dig into it, is going to counteract it. Even on Subarus, like in snow, people like, that's what I hate, is, you know, these younger kids get these, or even older guys, like I've seen plenty of, you know, 30-year-olds crash their Subarus before, but like, okay, your car might be all-wheel drive, so good, that's great, you can power through with all 4 wheels, but braking is an entirely different story. Like, that is not the same concept. Just because you're all-wheel drive does not mean you're invincible when it comes to braking. So this has been a really nice little drive. I love, like, this is just super cool. I love looking on the ground and seeing a ton of snow all over the place. No matter how crappy it makes road conditions and everything like that, I think it's awesome. I love snow. I can't express that enough. But yeah, so yes, again, I'm on summer tires, but I know how to drive my car pretty dang well. I have summer tires, but if it's not icy outside, I'm still gonna go drive my car around because it's still functional. It's just not nearly as functional as all seasons or snow tires, which I'm thinking about getting snow tires, not just all seasons for next year, but I'm thinking about getting snow tires just because by that time, I already have all the tools. I just don't have jack stands. I have a jack, but I'm not gonna jack my car up and do anything without jack stands because that's just sketchy as, well, a lot of things. That's more sketchy than a lot of things. But anyways, I'm here. I'm gonna go watch the game. I know this is a short, actually, I don't know if it was a short vlog. I don't think it was. Probably was really long because I think it took forever to get here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't seen the little drifty video, go ahead and do that because it's freaking sweet and it was fun. So do that. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button because it'll just make your life so much greater. There's just empty void that will be filled in your life. It's gonna be great. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Peace out.